Hey, welcome to AlbertRHartley.com. We're talking about a real estate blog or whatever. I don't know why my brain just... No, Melissa's going to leave that on there because, something happened up here. I don't know what that was. I think it's her cobalt black nail polish. It's creepy. So look, this is Boost for Loan Write-Down. This is in the Wall Street Journal, Wednesday, April the 11th. This is really important because the FHA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac entities are looking at writing down principal loans, and there's a lot of debate out there. Will this help the housing economy? Let me just define one thing what a write-down is. If you owe $300, house is worth $200, you write it down to $200, now you only owe $200. That's a write-down. Well, that means somebody lost $100,000. So what they're submitting to Congress and through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA is that the taxpayer eat that $100,000. Now, I personally think there's a lot of other ways to do it. You can increase the interest rates. You can, on the loans, you can modify the payments. I don't necessarily think writing down principal is a bad idea, but I don't think you should do that without capturing some of that write-up on the write-down on the back end of the deal. So let me give you an example. Let's say I owe $400,000 on my house. I write down the principal payment at $200,000. I may have to pay a higher than average interest rate on that $200,000 to make it work for my debt-to-income ratio on the note. However, if the economy picks back up and the value of my property goes back up on the note, then we should split that write-down with the federal government and make sure that the taxpayer doesn't lose on that. So, for example, a $400,000 note is written down to $200,000. Let's say my interest rate on that under the market would be 4%. Well, you put $200,000 at 6%, so the federal government's getting a little bit of rate of return on the money. In the event the housing market goes back up, then you can do a dollar-for-dollar ratio on the federal government getting a principal balance increase on the back end. So let's say the property goes up to $300,000. All right, well, you've paid in a certain amount of principal. You get a certain amount out. You can limit that to $10,000 to $20,000 to help with moving expenses, down payments on new houses. But the federal government would get an increase in the principal payoff, therefore not losing as much as they would on an initial write-down. So I think it needs to be a write-down with conditions. And I think in order to do that, we're going to have to take Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA and all these troubled loans and put them into a resolution company to try to make this thing work better for long term. If they do that, I think it'll help the housing market tremendously. And please check this article out. If you've got any questions or comments, email them to me at albertrhartley.com. I'd really like to hear your opinion on it. Thanks.